I'm going to walk you through a real-world cold call script with objection responses that I put together for one of my SDR coaching clients at a company called Rubrik, a leader in the cybersecurity space. I see too many sellers out there who are afraid to get on the phones, they're awkward on the phones, they don't know what to say, and they are missing out on a ton of meetings, pipeline, and revenue. Because the fact is that cold calling is the highest converting outbound channel in tech sales. So I know what works, and I encourage you to stay to the end of this video and steal these approaches to set more meetings yourself. Hey Tim, this is Chris calling from Rubrik. I was just reading your recent press release and saw your investments in AI. You're doing a lot to innovate there. And I was hoping I could ask you a couple quick questions to see if it's even worth a larger conversation. Would that be okay with you? I get it, you're busy. I know you didn't ask me to call you. Would it make sense for me to briefly share a story of how we helped St. Luke's Medical in your specific industry improve their data resiliency strategy and save a ton of money in the process so you can decide if it even makes sense to talk again in the future? I appreciate it, and I'll make sure to be brief. So St. Luke's was trying to secure millions of patient records, petabytes of data, and they realized that they had legacy systems in place that were costly and pretty risky. So David, the chief information security officer, decided that they would run a simulation of a ransomware attack. And the results were pretty scary when they realized it would take over a month to recover, and that would cost them millions of dollars. And the CISO decided, we can't afford this. This is life or death for us and for our patients. So we need a better way. And they turned to Rubrik to help them shift from reactive to a more proactive strategy with things like immutable backups and using our AI to really cover any and all gaps. And the result of the partnership was their people could sleep at night knowing that they had their data secure day in and day and night, millions of records, and they saved 73% or created a 73% TCO versus their legacy solution. I'm curious, at your organization, how are you currently managing your data resiliency and backup strategy today? No worries, I get you're not interested, and I know your job isn't to help a sales guy like me, but I'm curious, are you not interested because you already have a solution like us in place, like Veeam or Cohesity? Improving your data resiliency isn't a priority for you right now, you've got bigger priorities, or you're just trying to politely get me off the phone? And if it's the latter, that's no worries at all. I've already been hung up on 5 times in the past few days. Okay, got it. You're using Cohesity. I've heard that one before. How's that working out for you and your team so far? You know what? I'm not surprised to hear you say that. A lot of security departments I talk with using Cohesity say they offer a great relationship, a great partnership, and they do a lot of things right. Now, when I have further conversations, some of those teams are concerned around the risk introduced because of the ability for people to still modify and delete backups. So I'm curious, how are you currently managing that risk at your organization? Okay, got it. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? And have you ever taken the time to simulate how long it would take you to recover from a ransomware attack? All right, yeah, that's in line with the industry average, and like I mentioned, St. Luke's took about a month. Now, did you ever take the time to calculate what it would cost you if a ransomware attack did go down and you could only recover in 30 days? No worries, a lot of leaders I talk to haven't actually taken the time to calculate the cost of a breach like that. And I know I can't assume the impact for your organization because we haven't run a simulation, but in the case of St. Luke's, who's a similar size to you, they calculated it would cost millions of dollars. I'm curious, if you did have an attack and you experienced that level of impact, what would that mean for your organization? Yeah, it reminds me of St. Luke's CISO telling us that it's life or death, like we cannot afford this. I'm curious, what would it mean for you and your team if we could eliminate this risk while also saving you maybe even 70% on your overall total cost of ownership? 100%, that's why we exist, to give security teams like yours complete peace of mind. So would you be opposed to setting up some time when I'm not calling you out of the blue with your dedicated account executive, even one of our security experts, to review how we can specifically help fill in this security gap in your posture? If anything, you're going to come away with some new ideas that are going to be useful to you and will be your insurance policy in this specific area for the future. Awesome. Yeah, let's set it up. How does next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central work for you? Okay, perfect. I'm going to send over the calendar invite now. Can you just let me know when you accept it? Okay, great. I see you've accepted it. By the way, is there anyone else who you think should join the conversation and make the most of it? Okay, got it. If you could forward this invite to Sally as well, that'd be great. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to talking with you next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central to review how we can help increase your options to address this specific gap in your security posture. I'm looking forward to the conversation and hope you have a great rest of your day. All right. Yeah. Talk soon. End the scene. So what's going on here? We're opening with a permission-based opener, which according to the data where companies like Gong have analyzed billions of cold calls is statistically the most effective way to open the call. We also piqued curiosity and framed relevant value by telling a tailored customer story that was tailored to their industry, that talked about the current state, the challenges, and the better way with a solution like ours and the business impact. We then rolled that into effective discovery questions that ask them open-ended, neutral questions about their current state and how they're approaching their strategy today. We asked them pain-seeking questions to understand the risk involved of doing things the way they've been doing them. We asked them questions to get them thinking about the cost of staying the same and also the art of the possible with a better solution, which ultimately helped us find a hook to set the meeting. We also confidently asked for the next meeting and booked the call on the call, confirming they accepted the invite and confirming the audience and a specific time in the future. Oh, and we also addressed 3 different objections. I'm busy, I'm running to a meeting early on, where we appealed to logic and said, hey, why not look at this now and figure out if it even makes sense to talk again in the future? Then when we were hit with, I'm not interested, we threw out a hostage negotiation technique, the accusation audit, where you hazard a guess at why they might not be interested, which actually earns the trust for them to volunteer more information and actually open up to a conversation, which is the goal of any objection handling response. And when they revealed they were working with Cohesity, our competitor, we went with the objection instead of resisting it and asked them how it was going. We flattered the competitor and some of their strengths, but then we asked them a pointed question about a specific gap that the competitor didn't address that introduced risk, and we asked them how they were approaching it with a neutral, open-ended question. That's what opened up the conversation to allow us to seek out pain and a cost of that gap that ultimately would be the hook for the meeting. Now, cold calling is nuanced, and you need to be able to adapt these approaches and frameworks to the context of your company, your solution, your customers, the problems you solve, the competitors you face, your points of differentiation, your compelling events in the prospect's world that introduce a need for your solution and a reason to talk. And if you're looking for a coach to help you tailor your own script to that context at your own company, and also to help you deliver more effectively, deliver confidently, because it's really important to deliver well. How we say it is more important oftentimes than what we say. So if you're looking for a coach to help you tailor your opener, how you frame value, the discovery questions you ask, how you ask for the meeting, and all the most common objections you're going to face in your role, then consider booking time with me at my Calendly link to talk about your situation, your goals, our programs, and gain some cold calling insights. At minimum, you're going to come away with ideas, and in the best case, we're going to be working together, and I'm going to give you tailored guidance and accountability to be successful in your role. And if you're not ready for coaching, just download my free cold calling system linked in the description of this video. It's got mindset tips, proven scripts, and 15 objection handling examples with responses that work. I respect you for tuning in and investing in your personal and professional development, and wishing you all the success in tech sales and in life. Happy selling, happy living, and we'll see you in the next one.